So welcome, everybody. I want to be very mindful of your time. It's 10 o'clock, and we thank you for joining us for the July LARCA Government Education and Engagement Roundtable, which is our gear. And as you can see, there is an agenda that we would like to discuss. And just for starters, welcome. And again, I am Salaneka Smith, Director of Member Services for LARCA. And July is the Bebe Moore Campbell National Minority Mental Health Awareness Month. And as we know that mental health affects our groups tremendously, and there is a across the board, nationwide crisis that we're seeing among young people, older people, and just a variety. And so we want to be thankful for all of the mental health resources that are out there. And during the month of July, Bebe Moore Campbell is a famous African-American woman who started the legacy of acknowledging these unique traumas associated with people of color, and from the past perspective to today, and those multi-generational trauma and the impacts it could have on one's mental health. And so July was officially dedicated and is officially considered the Bebe Moore Campbell National Minority Mental Health Awareness Month. And there are so many resources and other things that can help us with understanding more. And one of the things that I've been looking at is Mental Health America, the CDC, national organizations, obviously, but also when you look at Depression and Bipolar Support Alliance, this is another group that focuses on the BIPOC component of mental health with so many statistics, which is really, really interesting. And I'll share this with you as well, but it speaks about certain forms of mental health issues that can be affected by past discrimination and certain conditions. And of course, we know trauma is affected by that, access to care, treatment concerns. One of the interesting things I just like to share with you all is that when African Americans individuals seek mental health care, they are oftentimes diagnosed more with schizophrenia and less diagnosed with mood disorders such as depression and bipolar disorder compared to white people when they have the same symptoms. And so that initial diagnosis of schizophrenia to people of color more than others is definitely another component as to how mental health treatment and access to it can, affects people of color. So just wanted to share with you quite a bit of information about that. Additionally, African Americans are less likely to be offered evidence-based medication or therapy than the general population. So as you can see, there are numbers of factors to really, really stress the point of how this Minority Mental Health Awareness Month and the unique components we have to acknowledge and also consider when we're talking about mental health issues and communities of color, especially with the history of slavery, Jim Crow, discrimination, red lines, and just the mental health disparities, the maternal health disparities, criminalization. So there's quite a bit. And this was an excellent, really insightful, resourceful site that I had located to share information with. So I just dropped it into the chat. And I think it's very, very helpful and insightful for us to have a better understanding of what's going on and how different cultures are affected by mental health. So just wanted to say Happy Mental Health Awareness Month, National Minority Mental Health Awareness Month. And we thank Bebe Moore Campbell for raising the awareness to the national level. So any questions about that before we move on to item 2? Anybody want to share anything about National Mental Health Awareness Month or anything they'd like to ask about as far as those statistics I just read? Okay, well, thank you very, very much. And I also want to welcome Shaji, who is joining us from the Department of Social Services Community Care Licensing. Sonia Smith, welcome as well. Thank you for joining us, Sonia, from the Department of Health Services. And of course, we thank all of our partners, all of our operators who are with us as we go through our agenda and address some of the issues. One of the things that we also wanted to talk about, and I think too, Benny, our executive director, will be joining us soon, but we just also wanted to give you a little bit of an update as well. As you know, the LARCA Community Marketplace Hub is a pilot project, and we are very grateful that we were approved and awarded $500,000 by the Los Angeles County Affordable Housing Solutions Agency, also known as LACAHSA. And this is for a pilot project to demonstrate if we can show how improved care coordination, a streamlined pathway for filling those empty beds right now, reimbursement rates that are increased because they are based on CalAIM rates instead of the basic what we are getting right now, which is the SSI rate, as well as maybe a patch for enhanced services. And so that's one of the things that we're doing. We're very grateful for that. And I wanted to just give you updates to where we are going to be initiating that pilot project, and it begins next month in August. We're just finalizing some of the background details with LACAHSA, and we look forward to reaching out with those designated pilot facilities that we have been engaged with to get started. We are also very grateful because this is an opportunity for a second year of funding. But what is the purpose? The purpose of the LARCA Community Marketplace Hub is to bring something to Los Angeles County's continuum of care that is not currently here, which is a much more coordinated care system across all 15 payers within LA County. This is also going to increase those reimbursement rates because they will be based on the CalAIM, which is the statewide goals of having health outcomes based on medical needs for the residents and reimbursing those based on those Medi-Cal rates. So that's the second bucket of that. And then thirdly is to sustain operations and prevent closures of any further facility, any state licensed adult residential care facility. We don't want to see another one shut down. We see that the numbers have increased, right? We're looking at the homeless rates. Just from this year alone, we have seen an increase in that. We also know that baby boomers, veterans, and others, TAY population, the transition age youth community, that's ages 18 to 26, who are part of the foster care system, they also are in need of assisted living. So all of these components bring together the need for us to have, if not making sure that we don't have any closures of any state licensed facilities, but increasing and expanding the number of those state licensed facilities. And so we just wanted to make sure that you all understand what the LARCA Community Marketplace Hub is. A pilot project is simply that. We're going to see if we can demonstrate through this brief, small study of a few of facilities and their residents. And if we can show those three buckets of improved coordination of care, preventing closures of facilities, reimbursing those operators at a higher rate because of the CalAIM rate, and of course, showing that we can fill empty beds that are empty right now. And so that's what we're going to do. We'll demonstrate that through the pilot project with LACAHSA, and hopefully maybe we will be awarded funds for a second year. That is a possibility, and we are very, very excited about that. And so I also just wanted to share with you our website in case you haven't been to the LARCALA.org website. All of this information that I'm just talking about is on our website. We have briefs, we have educational information, resources, we have information that explains what other events we have coming up. As you can see also, we have information whenever DMH post information there. We'll put information up there, community care licensing, we'll share information. You can also see that Benny Tenson and I presented the LARCA Community Marketplace Hub in front of the Los Angeles County Behavioral Health Commission. That full presentation is on our website, and you can take a look at that. We also have past recordings of our LARCA Government Education and Engagement Roundtable meetings on our website as well. So do
it on the carpet so you don't fall.
Locator map.
Right there. Put it down right there.
Yeah. Okay, there we go. We got that. So I also want to share one thing with you. As you can see, this is our boarding care locator map. Some people ask, how do we tell people, how do people find your facility? They go to our website. That's one of the ways. That we also have an app, and it's quite listed. And if you wanted to expand it, you can make it even larger. But we have a boarding care locator map that shows all of the facilities within LA County, and the blue emblem is the house, and that indicates the ARF for 59 years of age and under. And of course, the green bed represents our residential care facilities for the elderly. And as you can see, as we improve and increase, expand, we can really get into detail, because one of the things, and we get calls every day. So I also get calls directly from people who are looking for spaces for their loved ones, or from hospitals or discharge planners. And oftentimes one of the most important things is location. People do not want to leave their area. So it's very, very important for them to see what is available right now immediately. Clicking on one of the facilities, they'll get the contact information for that facility. They're able to email them, drive by to see what it looks like, contact them, but at least that'll give them more information, and they can determine if that's a possible facility that could match for their loved one or for their client. So I just wanted to share that as well, to let you know quite a bit of updates have happened on our website. And I want to thank Chris Jameson as well for all of the work he's been doing to keep our website updated. Any questions so far from anybody? And welcome, Barbara. I see that you've jumped in there now, and we thank you for joining. I definitely want to acknowledge our incredible visits and round visits that we did last week to some of our facilities out in the San Fernando Valley area. But you also have an event coming up, and I definitely want to share that. But just as far as what we have discussed so far, any questions? All right. So one of the next things that I wanted to share, we have received notifications from HealthNet, from some of you as operators, about some of the alarming decisions that HealthNet is making to cancel some of its CalAIM community supports. We are currently looking into this as well. We have been in discussion with our state legislators. We have also been in discussion with commissions. The Justice and Aging is a nonprofit organization too that's looking into this. But this is a very, very concerning issue for one of the managed care plans to issue a notification that they are going to discontinue providing one of the community supports for the nursing home transition or diversion. And that reimbursement rate could really, really harm some of our facilities. And so I wanted to ask at this time for any of you as operators, if you would like to share, if you would like to just give us any feedback, any information you have, or share your experience and what you are enduring as far as HealthNet, any of the other managed care plans, the CalAIM process, your relationship and coordination with the FSPs, as well as the ERC programs that are being administered within our county. We would really love to hear from you right now because your feedback helps us as we navigate and advocate on your behalf. And so if you would like to share any feedback regarding what is happening with your facility as it relates to HealthNet, the notifications, or your operations, please feel free to let me know. Okay. And I also wanted to just add a couple of things. With regard to what we have learned about HealthNet, is the notifications that they have sent out saying that they're going to discontinue one of their community supports for CalAIM reimbursement is something that we're hoping doesn't happen. We're really hoping that our legislature as well as our advocacy organizations can work with HealthNet to get them to modify this, because that will harm the reimbursement that are being received by some of our owners and operators. And so once again, I'm working on this with our legislators, and I will keep you apprised. But if you would like to reach out to me, or those who have reached out to me, thank you for continuing to let us know exactly what's going on. One of the other things I wanted to share as well, and I see that Taylor from DMH is on the line as well. And Taylor, welcome as well. If you have anything you'd like to share, feel free. And for any of our government agencies, please let me know. But as far as ERC, we know that many of you are currently operating at the $1,000 per person ERC patch as a vendor contracted with DMH. And we understand that the cost of living, inflation, the acuity needs of your residents have changed. They require more care. They require more services. They require more, perhaps, resources on your behalf. This is one of the things that we want to work with DMH, and we want to work with all of our agencies to ensure that your current ERC rate is appropriate. If you see the need that should be increased, there is a process for submitting a request for an increase in your ERC rate, and I'd like to help you with that if you are interested. So please let me know in the chat if you are interested, if that is something you'd like to do. We are working with several of our operators to navigate through the process for ERC. As we know, at that $1,000 a day, a month patch, it's been quite challenging for many, many of you. And especially if a recent assessment of that resident hasn't occurred, because an assessment, more recent one, can help determine their acuity needs and therefore justify that increase in the ERC patch. Oh, and Barbara, I just wanted to share, I see that you added that the feedback from the lived experiences of facility owner administrators to give in quicker voice to policymakers is why LARCA is so very important. Thank you very much, Barbara. We really, really appreciate it. And also, we definitely have to ensure that we're hearing from you. And if we don't advocate on your behalf to know exactly what your needs are and what your urgencies are, then we're not doing you the service that we need to. And so that's one of the things I definitely hope that you will participate in, by letting us know and keeping us apprised. I'm out in the community, in the field every week. I'm in one part of our service planning area, districts of 8, right? And so as I was sharing, Barbara Wilson and I, and Barbara is the executive director of Mental Health Hookup. We spent time in Sylmar, Reseda, Canoga Park, Stevenson Ranch, and just to visit so many different kinds of facilities, ARFs mainly, but they were various types of ARFs, from a regional center ARF to an unlicensed facility that is more of a rehabilitation or recuperative care home. And it was just really, really insightful. And if you would like me to come out to visit your facility, if you need help in any way, I'm happy to schedule that directly with you. Barbara, thank you again for arranging that trip. It was great to see what some of the work of the community care expansion has done. And thank you, Glenn, for joining us as well. That was really, really informative and insightful for us to see what those who were awarded community care expansion, CCE funds, and what the work has done to some of our facilities, especially after that lengthy process where many of our facilities, unfortunately, did not qualify for those funds. We are hoping that more funds will be found for future additional CCE projects, but it was great to get out there in the community and see what some of those facilities look like after receiving those funds. Barbara, did you want to share anything about our multiple facility visit?
Hi, good morning, everybody. I am just grateful every day that LARCA exists. It was a great I think, experiment from the Board of Supervisors to create an organization expressly to give voice to, I call the invisible folks that serve every day, to help our clients stay in the community with minimal hospitalizations or jail time and all of that. It certainly serves the taxpayer because it saves them less money. They spend less money, but which is why I don't understand why we're not giving more money to all of the licensed, particularly ARFs, because we all know they get paid less than what it costs to board a dog and dog care, I guess it's called. So I thank you, Salaneka, for coming out. And what I hope to show was a range of types of facilities. So a small facility, a large facility, an unlicensed facility, a facility that had to close because of the low reimbursement rate. And how do you meet the requirements of Title 22 on less than $50 a day? And the role of the patch versus those people that have been serving for many, many years So their clients are not new referrals. So how do they access funding? And the reality is they don't. They just serve until they can no longer serve anymore, and they close. So thank you for coming out, and Glenn, thank you for being willing to spend a day in the heat, and just very grateful to have that on-site view, because I think until people really experience licensed boarding care homes and the pressures that they experience on a minute by minute by minute basis, you don't really have a sense of what they need in order to continue. So thank you.
You're welcome, Barbara. If anyone else would like to share anything, please. One of the things I also find also insightful, informative, is the fact that so many of our members continuously say they are struggling because of this low reimbursement rate. We're doing everything we can, because when you look at state licensed ARFs and state licensed RCFEs, $44 a day brings you in about $1,450 per month, maybe. And then on top of that, if you're receiving a $1,000 patch, that's only $2,400 per month. And that's when you look at the reimbursement rate that others are receiving, that other payers, different systems receive. We have to remember the cost of living, from utilities to food to transportation. This is why we're doing the Community Marketplace Hub. We see that what we wanted to do is get that reimbursement rate from the SSI rate, and that's not going to happen. So we are exploring all options of how do we increase the reimbursement rate, because when we think about the cost of living, we know that we live in one of the most expensive counties in the country, not just the state. And so when people are tasked to provide for whole person care, 3 meals a day, plus services for care, grooming, assistance, snacks, all of these things require significantly more money. And I think that that's what we're challenged with. And we're hearing this directly from our operators. They are passionate about their work, but we want to be able to see how we can ensure through long-term, for the duration of their stay, and whether their resident is there for 5 years, 5 months, or 25 years, whatever they are there for, that their housing and all of their healthcare needs will be covered. And that's the real definition of whole person care. And we know that we're in a system where it is very complex. And so housing is sometimes pulled from another bucket of funding, and then the basics and the Medicare is from one. And that's what we're trying to do, to really bring about a centralized, standardized system that provides for a dignified reimbursement rate. And that means we know that at least about $3,300 to $3,500 is what it costs per average to house a person in a dual room, meaning where 2 people share a room. So that's where we need to be. And that's what we're working on in every capacity that we can. And one of these ways is by demonstrating through the pilot project that if we take those folks who are on Medi-Cal, optimize their managed care plan program to ensure that they're registered in CalAIM if we can't have them on the assisted living waiver, right? Both of these programs provide for reimbursement rates that are much more in alignment with the cost to operate and remain open. So that is our goal, and that's what we're doing to work with our residents. And so any feedback we can get to ensure that we continue with that mission as one of our missions, that's what we're focused on. But we are working as diligently as we can through all levels of government to ensure that we get this reimbursement rate up to match your needs, your services, and to ensure that the person receives their whole person care for better health outcomes. And Desiree, I just wanted to say thank you for joining us as well. And Desiree, too, is one of our LARCA board members, and she operates a 14-bed facility in Pasadena. And we thank her very much because she has done an incredible job despite economic pressures, despite having low reimbursement rates, and also despite not receiving any community care expansion funds. And so we know that you're doing a great job, Desiree, and you were just, from the fires in Altadena and just everything that you've had to deal with. Do you have anything that you'd like to share in terms of where your operations are?
No, just right now it's just so hot, and our house does not have any AC, so it's been a really, I have to try to work. I had requested for just to put those splits, from the Department of Mental Health and the CCE. But I was never approved for those. So now I have to figure out a way to see if I can put those in, especially right now with this heat. Our clients are we just have the living room where we put an AC unit, and that's where they have to gather, because we wouldn't be able to afford to put AC in each room,
Yeah.
But so so we're chugging along. But thank you.
Okay.
But thank you for everything you do and all the information.
Oh, thank you also, Desiree, because you have a beautiful facility. It's in a craftsman style home, and to have that historic character and have to work within what you are working with, I commend you. And I thank you for doing all that you're doing as well. We know that the Pasadena, Altadena area is, in addition to the Reseda and Stevenson Ranch, and we've got some real hot pockets. And I definitely will work with our county agencies and other organizations within the county to see if there is additional funding opportunities for weatherization of any properties. We did have the folks from the County Agency for Economic Development on before to talk about a grant, and I will explore what is possible for further weatherization of properties, as well as exploring additional ones. And that's one of the other things too. Under some of the managed care plans, there is coverage, right, to ensure that residents are in a facility that allows for them to be safe, to be cool, to have all of the comforts that they need. So we're going to look and see how we can optimize the managed care plans to ensure that coverage is there, and any way that coverage can extend as far as providing operational support for you. We'll look at that as well.
Great. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you also, Desiree. Did anyone else like to share how their facility is going, whether you have an ARF, an RCFE, or recuperative care facility? But we have had extreme weather. This has been one of them. I think it's going to continue. I think we're expected for a small cool down. But one of the things that I've noticed is all of the libraries are working and serving as cooling centers. And when I visit the libraries, Benny and I will oftentimes use study rooms, and they're filled. They're filled with adults. They're filled with youth. They're filled with some of the groups. Some of the ARF residents come as well, and they're offering food. Many of them are providing lunch, as well as just air conditioning and shelter. And so I think please be sure to take advantage of some of the public resources that are available to help during these heat waves, and to ensure that your residents and staff remain hydrated and protected as much as possible. Anybody else with any feedback? Oh, I do see Barbara. Some of that is medical. People who are on psychotropic medications often need to avoid high levels of heat, both direct sun and high temperatures. Thank you very much, Barbara, for that. That is good to know. And that does make a lot of sense.
Just a comment.
No, go for
Barbara,
it.
I know we tell them all the time. We make sure they're drinking water, getting hydrated, but they always have to be outside smoking, But thank you.
That's a good point, Barbara. We could perhaps check in with our managed care plans, as well as some of our other medical associations, to see how we may be able to support having air conditioning units, or some type of air conditioning added. So I think that would be really, really great. And Courtney Price, thank you so much for joining us as well. And Courtney is with the ERC program through the Housing for Health under the Department of Homeless Services and Housing, which is the LA County's fairly new created agency, HSH, the Department of Housing Services and Homelessness. And she just put in the chat, if you can take a look, the Ready LA count. And here's a map to identify the free cooling centers in LA County. Thank you very much, Courtney, for that. And so please, everyone, click on that link that Courtney has added to our chat access that information. We also, on our website, we have published a list of free community resources for folks during this time. We really, really hope that everyone takes advantage of the food banks, of the youth facilities, of the fairs and back to school programs that are happening. I'm oftentimes sharing information, so I don't mean to inundate anyone, but whenever I come across information that is issued from whether it's licensing or the Department of Public Health, Department of Mental Health, or any of the other agencies, I try to share it with you all, especially if I know it can help you as regard to services, resources, and things like that. And so on our website, again, larcala.org, we have information that you can see about where you can obtain free food. And I can tell you today's food bank is not your food bank from a generation ago. And so when I am out in the community, I am visiting facilities, and food banks are giving out both shelf stable, they're giving out fresh produce, they're giving out vegetables, baked goods, just a variety of things. And so we posted that on our website so you can see where the food bank and their distributing partners are, and they're all over LA County, and they're numerous. And so there are very few limits as well. So I highly encourage you to check those out. And as you can see, the information is on our website from our recent presentation to the Behavioral Health Commission. And again, you can click on these links and tabs in our website about the free food that's being distributed. We talked about here as well the list of these free activities that are for individuals and families that are also posted on our website, just to ensure we know that people are struggling right now during this time of inflation, high cost of gas, food, electricity, you name it, housing, everything is expensive right now. So the more free resources available, the better. And so please, if you can, check out what is posted on our website to help with some of these quality of life issues and also cost of living issues. And so before we move on, I also want to share that we have just a quick LARCA member pulse survey. And I dropped the chat link. That link is in the chat. Please, if you can help us out, we would love for you to complete this 2-minute survey. And all this is to provide information on your facility that we can totally use when we are advocating, when we are meeting with our elected officials at the local level or at the state or federal level, for us to also be able to share whenever we get a request for a facility. Many of the facilities want to know where are you located, but in addition to, if we have a veteran, they like to know if you serve veterans. If we are working with an agency and they work with the transition age youth or TAY group, they'd like to know, does your facility have anyone that's in that age range or close to that age range for a better placement? We also want to report back to our Board of Supervisors, to our LA County Behavioral Health Commission, if your facility serve any residents who are members of the LGBTQ plus community. And so this is, once again, a very, very brief survey. Please let us know. If you can fill this out, that link again is in the chat. And the final question is, what is the single most important action LARCA could take this year to better support your facility? Please send that back to me if you can. We would deeply appreciate that. I'm also going to email this out to everyone as well. But this information is crucial to let us know. And as you can see here, there are some challenges here that we stated, but if you've got others that are not a part of this group, please let us know. But this is a critical question in 3. What are some of your greatest operational challenge? Workforce staffing, referrals and placement coordination, funding stability, the housing facility availability, regulatory issues, or is it something else? And so this information, once again, will help us as we prepare reports, presentations, and we engage with our elected officials to give them exactly the feedback from you. Any questions about this survey?
Hi, Salaneka, it's Eitan. It looks like the security settings need to be modified because when you click in, it asks you it just restricts access.
Oh, okay. Yes. Thank you so much. And I am going to do share. So I'm going to go back in there and give everybody access to it. And thank you so much. I just got that notification from you, Eitan. So thank you. this will be very, very helpful. We are expected to go back to the LA County Behavioral Health Commission. And when we do go back, we will be reporting back to them a little bit more specificity about our facilities so they can have a better understanding of where our facilities that serve veterans, TAY, LGBTQ plus community. And so that's definitely one of the things that we want to be able to give them accurate information. So we thank you for that as well. And thank you again, Ethan, for letting me know that. So we'll do that. And you
were also talking about the CCE program before.
Yes.
We recently, there's a program with the DWP. It's called CAMR, CAMR. And if you're changing any of your old gas appliances to electric, they will cover the cost of that. So we recently converted our boiler and we got over $400,000 to change it from gas to electric, and they fully covered it. They sent us a couple contractors that we were able to vet and use. And it was a very easy process. So if anybody else has aging infrastructure with gas appliances, they could take a look at this CAMR program, CAMR, and they could most likely get it for free.
Oh, thank you very much, Ethan. I appreciate that. And I think that what I can do too is check and see if they can come and talk to us about that. Because you did say that that's through the LADWP, right?
And specifically for like low income commercial uses, commercial properties.
Okay, I found it. This is information here. If you would like, I would love to invite the program administrators to join us, but I also just want to share this with you here in case anybody is interested in perusing their website and learning more about it. Thank you so much, Ethan, for sharing that. That's significant.
You're welcome.
And can you all see this? My screen. So this is the site that Etan was just referring to. I'm going to drop this into our chat right now in case you're interested in checking it out. But I will reach out to them and invite them to join us. Thank you for that. And also, does anyone else have any feedback on how their relations with the FSPs are going right now? Brilliant Corners. Hopefully everything is okay. If not, then we would like to, help you in any way we can to navigate through that process. And so feel free to reach out to me online directly. But one of the other things is we remember we had community care licensing, and Adesele back, I believe it was during our May gear meeting, she referred to the new mental health facility for veterans. And has anyone received any information about that, or would you be interested in learning more about that? Because I know that we were going to see if they would be willing to come back and talk a little bit more about this newly created type of state licensed residential care facility specifically for veterans that would be, I believe, incorporating the VA payer system. And so I'm not sure of those rates. I believe we have Shaji from licensing on the line with us. If possible, Shaji, would you be willing to come back and talk to our group about that in the next month or two?
Hi, good morning. This is Shaji. Yes, we don't have enough information to share yet. Yes, as soon as I have it, I'll reach out to Shirley and we'll share the information with you right away.
Okay, great. Thank you. Yeah, because I think it'll be very interesting. And Barbara, thank you for your feedback as well. She just stated that this is wonderful information, Etan. This is why it's very important for facility owners to meet with each other. Yes, I firmly agree, Barbara. This is how we share and learn more about what's happening and also how we can access those types of resources. And so back to Barbara. I just also want to say that you have an upcoming event. We look forward to this event every single year. You and your team do an incredible job, Barbara. I hope you know that. You are such a legacy. You have taught me so much, and you teach me so much. Your fierceness, your unapologetic style about ensuring that people do not stigmatize mental health. It's commendable. And I appreciate you so much because you are so dedicated. Every year, not only do you join other events, but you host your own event. And we are super excited about that. And so we have an upcoming event, Stop the Stigma event with Mental Health Hookup. And Barbara, would you like to share a little bit more of how we can join you to support you and get involved?
Well, thank you again, Salaneka. I talk a lot, and so I'm kind of embarrassed, like I feel like I've taken over the meeting. But the Stop the Stigma event is born out of my complaining to my daughter that I was seeing family members here in Santa Clarita. By the way, Santa Clarita is in its own little bubble. We're not part of the valley, and we're not part of the Antelope Valley. So we're kind of in our own little bubble where we have very limited transportation. We just don't have the numbers that catch the attention of policymakers. So we really have a lack of services in our area historically. And to complicate that, we also have a certain level of denial and resistance. And what I was seeing was families that have an adult family member living at home, and they feel very ashamed and guilty and isolated and feeling like they're the only ones that have this adult child that's not perfect. And so I was thinking, I wish there was some way they could break the isolation. And so my daughter said, well, why don't you do an event for them where mental health is not really even the topic, just have some fun. And see if we can get them to come out. And so the first event, I swore we'd never do it again because we chose the hottest day of the year. It turned out to be the hottest day of the year, and we were outdoors. And to your earlier point about the heat, Santa Clarita is desert. And so it was horrible. And then people were saying, and next year, I'm like, what? So this is our 5th year. And thank you, Salaneka, for LARCA's continued willingness to show up. It's a long way from Long Beach to get to Valencia, and we do appreciate it. We do have fun. We have free food. We have free coffee, which is my demand, and we have a program so that we insist on sliding in a little bit of information. And then we have vendors that come that we like to have organizations that will accept Medi-Cal only, or no charge at all, so that families can kind of get a glimpse of where can they go to get help for their loved ones without having to drive a long way, because maybe mom is 85 years old and she maybe shouldn't be driving every day to the valley to get her loved one to Granada Hills to a program. So that's the purpose. And what can you do to help? Well, first of all, like most of you, we need cash because everything has gone up. And we would like to keep this event free to the public. And what I can tell you is that every year our attendance has grown. We started out we had more volunteers than we had participants. But now we're kind of like 50-50. And so if you can come that day, great. We need everything. We need volunteers. We need cash donations. We have a very nice souvenir program that's 8.5 by 11. If you do make a cash donation or even an in-kind donation, we do put it in. We have a schedule of how it will be acknowledged in the program. So you do get credit, and we are a 501c3. So anything you give to us is, of course, fully tax deductible. And there's a picture of me. I'm so embarrassed. I am not the camera person. Salaneka has me trying to overcome my camera resistance.
It just shows how much work you've done and how recognized you are to be honored with the National Association of Social Workers for Social Worker of the Year of 2025. I commend you. I mean, it speaks volumes about how much work you do, and you're just really committed. And I am grateful also to all of the NAMI chapters, the NAMI GLAC, NAMI Urban LA, NAMI Whittier Long Beach, NAMI Glendale, and all of the other chapters, because you've really helped us to all create this community of peers to support each other, lean on each other, and learn from each other. And so it's so important, Barbara. So I don't mean to put you on the spot because you've done so much great work, but your event coming up on September 19th is an opportunity once again for us to collaborate together in the name of stopping the stigma and supporting those who are in need of mental health resources. And so I just wanted to share that and make sure people saw that. And again, I'm going to drop her link to her site so you can get more information about the event and about mental health hookup in our chat right now.
And one more thing, the old lady is trying to get with the new way of doing things. This year we have a separate website, especially for Stop the Stigma SCV. So you can go on there and reserve your Evite or whatever it's called. And we actually have a young woman who was tracking that. So it's there for you.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, Barbara. Anybody have questions about the Stop the Stigma event? Oh, I see somebody's hand is up. A Zoom user, go for it. I don't have your name, but it says you are a Zoom user, and feel free to ask your question. I can't see if that person, maybe they don't see, but maybe that was an inadvertent one. Anybody else have questions for Barbara and her group and the upcoming Stop the Stigma event? And Barbara, we will be there. So we look forward to seeing you there.
Bring a gift basket. That's their only requirement. Bring a gift basket for us to give away.
We sure will. We sure will. And so we will work with Shaji. I will work to see, check in again with licensing to see if there is any upcoming information that can be shared with our group for next month. We have one person who would one facility that would like to participate in the Nature for All, those free excursions. And so I know that she wasn't able to join us. Because she had to fill in and literally take one of the groups out for a tour. But if anyone is interested, she's got the 40 person tour, and she wants to have the bus filled. So we've got 12 people reserved. And so we want to make this a LARCA member excursion if possible. But if not, then we will just have that one facility pair up with some of her other people. But if we can get some folks out, but they do beautiful excursions. And I think if you guys want more information, we certainly can. But it's the Nature for All event. And this is a free service that takes your residents and staff on a wonderful motor coach bus out to a designated nature facility or park within LA County. And this is just an outdoor adventure experience for them, because there are multiple studies that show how important the natural outdoors can be for healing people and for positively affecting one's mental health. And so the program is called Nature for All. If anyone is interested, all they need to do is be able to access your facility in a space enough to get that bus in and turn it around. But essentially, the residents and staff are picked up at around 8:30 that morning, and they are taken to a wonderful park or trail or picnic site or area, and it's a safe area. We're not going mountain hiking or anything, but it's a chance for them to be in an outdoor space, lead a very moderate walk, and then have a picnic on site. And so the lunch is free, the transport, everything is free. And so what we just encourage is have staff join. she brings 10 staff of her own, but you should definitely try to have at least one staff for your group as well, if not, ratioed out for one every 6 or something like that. But please let me know if you're interested. This is another free, wonderful opportunity, and it's to me, it's just like a superior form of a day program, right? I happen to be a lover of nature, so I do like to climb mountains and to paraglide and things like that. But, this is just more moderate. But it's also just a beautiful opportunity for our residents and staff to take advantage of Nature for All. So just send me an email. You can text me if you're interested, and I'll add you to the list. And then that way we can make those arrangements. And you can also get a list of the schedule. Any questions about that? Oh, Barbara, your question. The new ARF in Santa Clarita is restricted to DMH. What does that mean? I think sometimes we have our facilities, they sign a contract, and that's that right of refusal, or that they might have to hold the beds for DMH residents. And Barbara, I will add you to the list as well for Nature for All. Thank you very much for that. But yeah, we did have Sonia. No, Sonia or Courtney, not that this is directly a DMH question, but am I a little correct in saying that maybe I think when Barbara's referring to a facility being restricted to DMH, does that sort of mean like it's under contract only, right? So they've got to sort of keep those beds available for DMH clients, right?
Hi, Salaneka.
Hey, Sonia.
I know there's also someone, Taylor and Kelly are on from DMH as well. Usually facilities that participate in our ERC program, it could be at the time outreach and engagement was conducted, that it was DMH that went out and issued the contract. So they're only working with DMH. That I don't believe that's saying that they cannot get contracts with like HSH or take private pay clients, things like that. But I think Taylor or Kelly can clarify, but I don't believe that any facility is restricted to one program.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much, Sonia, for that. Taylor or Kelly, did you want to add anything? And thank you again, Sonia. That really helps us to clarify.
Oh, you're welcome, Salaneka.
Hi. This is my first LARCA meeting, so that was a great segue because I wanted to sort of introduce myself to everybody. I'm Kelly Motika, and I am a new housing division manager for the Department of Mental Health, and I oversee the ERC program. So I actually report to Luis Quintanilla, so a lot of you are probably familiar with Luis. And Talar is my staff. And Talar, do you want to say hi and introduce yourself?
Sure. Hi, everybody. My name is Talarain Tablian, and I'm the Senior Staff Analyst with the DMH CCE program.
Thank you both so much for joining us. I really appreciate it. And you're welcome every month, every opportunity you care to. So thanks again, Kelly and Taylor.
Talar, did you have anything you wanted to add to what Sonia said? I think that is about right, but
yes.
Yeah.
That sounded accurate to me too.
Okay.
and I just wanted to add one quick note about CCE, if I may, Kelly, since we have the floor here. Salaneka, I wanted to add that the CCE program has also been very beneficial because through the operating subsidy payments program, ERC has been able to increase its rate from $1,000 to $2,000 for the CCE eligible facilities. So those facilities who are contracted through the CCE program are receiving an additional $1,000 to their enhanced services rate.
That's really great. Great, Taylor. Thank you very much. And just, I don't know if anyone has a question for them, feel free to, but I did have one question. And for that, the ERC plus OSP, that's for new residents, right?
Correct. For the CCE program, it would be for new DMH ERC clients entering into a facility.
Okay.
And DMH has contracted with contracted with 109 facilities throughout the county. And at the present time, we have over 70 facilities with active clients receiving CCE funds, actually.
Great. Do you know, and I don't want to hog up everybody else's time, because if you got more questions, please, but I had another question. Do you know if there is an opportunity to expand the CCE OSP program to where there's maybe a potential for some existing residents to be assessed for an increase?
Yeah.
I think that would have to go through our program management, on a case-by-case scenario. I don't want to say outright yes, outright no. I think, if there is a extenuating circumstances, a facility can reach out and perhaps management can, review what the circumstances are surrounding that. But the communication we had put out was that this is for new DMH ERC clients being admitted into facilities.
Okay, great. Thank you.
And then I don't know if we have a minute. I was wondering if you don't mind. So, well, first of all, just attending this meeting for the first time, I just wanted the information and everything that was presented here. It's really helpful for me as I'm acclimating in my new role. So thank you. And it's good to get to know all of my partners and allies and all of that. But that aside, you guys had mentioned HealthNet, and actually, I just got my first batch of requests yesterday, where this was mentioned to us as well, where some of our former ERC clients were participating in this program, and they're now saying it's going to be ending. So I don't have a lot of information on it myself, but it sounds like you all are aware of it. And I'm just wondering if, do you happen to know, is this just being discontinued for HealthNet across the board for all of their members? Oh, it is. Oh my goodness.
Kelly, thank you so much. This is a huge issue.
Yeah.
And Ethan, one of our members, Ethan, if you're still there, this is huge. And we're still trying to understand how HealthNet can issue this notification and just make this step without, working with people. And then also just sort of the position they take is well, what's going to happen?
And without much transition too. I mean, I'm trying to look at the letter, but it didn't look like they were giving a lot of time, for folks to transition to, figure out what they're going to do. Yeah.
My initial response from Eaton, and Eaton's not the only one. We have heard from other members as well that they are those who have HealthNet residents, that this is an action that they're taking. And so for us, is this even within their contract and obligations with the state of California? Because they're under contract, right? And to me, when you look at the 14 BHSA guidelines of improving outcomes, especially those who are disproportionately affected, this doesn't seem like it's in that alignment. And so we're just trying to figure out and reconcile whose jurisdiction and authority is HealthNet taking to take this step, 1, 2, and are they allowed to do this? And what's the recourse on behalf of the state and local government? But I know Eaton was very involved. And if you want to add anything, Eaton, please feel free to, because your feedback was incredible. And if not, I totally understand as well. But so if anybody else would like to share anything about that, but that's what our feedback has been. And it could be potentially very devastating to some of our facilities.
Well, and there's a great question here in the chat, but if HealthNet is doing this, ultimately, what, are we going to have, is this going to be an action that's taken by the other managed care plans as well? So, I don't know the answer to that question, but it's kind of scary.
Do you mind if we work together to try to reconcile and get as much information, Kelly? If I'll share what I can with you and Taylor, or you and whomever else, Louise, but we're working with this and we're on top of this. And I know that, there is a state select committee on the mental health crisis in California. And the chair of that committee is a Southern California Assembly member. And also the Assembly and Senate's Joint Committee on Health and Human Services is the ultimate committee in the legislature that approves all things that are going to go to Gavin Newsom's desk or the governor's desk for signing or not. And so they're looking into this as well, because it is my understanding that they were not aware of this move by HealthNet. And so I'm not sure what is the oversight engagement that happens between the Department of Managed Care Plans, the Department of Healthcare Services, the state legislature, and these contracted managed care plans to be able to exercise this kind of action. So we're looking into this, and I definitely will keep you posted and engaged because I think if we can all learn and work together on this issue would be huge. Absolutely. And I used to work for the state legislature. So for me, this is definitely something I feel like we need to have Sacramento in alignment on this and find out what's going on, because those contracts are with the state.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, that would be great. For sure. We'll also pass on any information that we learn, anything that we can do on our side. That would be great. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Sure.
And I know that it's 11 o'clock and we have just hit our mark, but is there anyone has any additional feedback, questions, comments for us before we wrap up? I just want to say thank you again. I appreciate you, Kelly, Taylor, Courtney, everybody, and all of your feedback is important, and we've got a lot of work to do. And I also want to say thank you to Shaji because he did just send out the provider information notice that was issued by Community Care Licensing regarding this new adult and senior care facility for medical foster homes for veterans. And so we're going to follow up on that as well, because we did receive interest from some of our members who are interested in knowing what kind of licensure this requires and what are those reimbursement rates and what are the commitments. And so we're going to learn more about this, because that's another growing population of people who need assisted living. So thank you very much, Shaji, for adding that. And it's in the chat as well. So if you can click on that in the chat, and then I'll also share it once again through email. Any other questions or feedback before we wrap up? I want to be respectful of your time.
Well, I just have a quick question, and the answer can come later, but does this mean, back to the issue of the ARF that recently opened in Santa Clarita, does that mean that if I have a family that is seeking placement, that I can make a referral to that facility?
How are you?
I think it does, Barbara, but let's work with Kelly and Taylor. We can find out.
I appreciate that.
To confirm. So we'll follow up, and I'll follow up with you directly. Okay. Well, thank you very much again. I wanted to say thank you to all who participated. We certainly appreciate you all, and we'll see you back. Our next meeting will be September 24th, and hopefully before that, we'll see you at the Stop the Stigma event in Valencia on behalf of Barbara's Mental Health Hookup. So thanks again, you guys, and please feel free to send me any direct information feedback you have.
Everything's set.
All righty. Have a great day. Take care. And Lisbeth is there. Thank you so much, Lisbeth, for joining us. We look forward to following up with you soon.
Thank you.
Take care. Bye-bye.